Generative model is on the verge of revolutionizing the whole AI by providing a more comprehensive understanding of data and also by driving progress in other AI fields. It feels quite obvious that we should no longer limit ourselves to only discriminative modeling, categorizing data. As already mentioned several times, generative modeling tries to learn models that capture more complete understanding of the data distribution. And, as pointed out, this is a much more difficult problem to solve. For a discriminative model, it suffices to generate one integer number, the class ID, while a generative result may consist of millions of values in a high-dimensional space. However, many techniques developed in the area of discriminative modeling, like deep learning and various network architectures, are very helpful in the development of generative models too. Overall, without the progress made earlier in discriminative modeling, we wouldn't have generative modeling either. Now that we have it, it provides new tools that drive progress in other AI fields. We mention here two such techniques. Data augmentation. Generative models can create synthetic data that is so similar to real data that it can then be used to augment training datasets and thus improve the performance of other AI models. For example, in medical image analysis, datasets can be very small and imbalanced, as certain diseases or conditions may be very rare. 1 in a million has some disease. Generative models can create new images with realistic anatomical variations instead of simply flipping, rotating and cropping the existing images. Another is world models for reinforcement learning. Think of a robot trying to learn how to walk in real-world terrain, like in a forest. Traditionally, this happens by training the robot to learn optimal actions through trial and error. Oops, I fell from a cliff and died. Even if the environment is a computer simulation instead of a real one, it will take millions and millions of trials and errors to learn to walk in one given environment. And when the environment changes, we must repeat the whole process. Generative models can be used to create not only virtual environments but probabilistic virtual environments, so-called world models, that allow robot agents to adapt quickly to new environments or new tasks without extensive retraining. As mentioned in the textbook, current neuroscientific theories propose that our own brain, it functions as a generative model, constantly creating simulations of our surroundings, predicting what the world would be like after 1 second. And these predictions are then compared to the actual sensory input. Now, given that our perception is itself generative, the only way to simulate it is with generative models. It seems that building machines with generative capabilities is crucial to understanding the brain and understanding human. In conclusion, since humans are creative, human-level AI must be creative too. That's all for now.